Yeah.
I just of fish that were caught, say, last season. When was that book printed?
That was in the mid-50s.
Mid-50s. Over 60 fish caught between March and the 1st of May, the 15th. 2 40-pound fish and 4 over 30-pound and 10 over 28-pound. How many there over 6 over 20 and 200 fish caught during the season in Castleconnell beats. By God, they were fine fish. Fine fish, PJ.
After the rural electrification, that they disappeared.
That's what
because
killed it.
The amount of water that was going down the headrest was taken from the Shannon.
And that's what killed the Shannon, PJ.
But in spite of all that, there were still massive fish coming up for years, but nobody knew it.
Right.
Now, I could tell you a story, but I'd have to mention somebody's name, but it doesn't matter now, he's dead.
Right.
If you'd like me to...
What Jesus do
on
PJ?
The week after the season closing, 1959.
Right.
He went out at the bottom of the 18 acre and he gaffed 2 fish.
Where exactly was that now, PJ? Would that have been there?
If you go down under the trees and you go in the first swing gate,
yeah,
that's the 18 acre. It goes from the river right up to the road.
Right.
That's the 18 acre. And there were 2 of the finest fish they were ever caught in the River Shannon. And people thought at that stage that there wasn't any big fish in it. I saw them. I was mad when I saw them because they'd have thousands, they would get millions of eggs for spawning. Jesus. And it was a scandal to kill them. But when I saw them, they were dead. The biggest fella was 56 pound 4 ounces.
My God, PJ.
And the second one was 54 pounds 6 ounces.
Jesus.
A cock and a hen. 2 massive fish. And it was a scandal. But the man that did it is dead now, like him, so we can't do him any harm. God be good to him now. But
what year did you say that was again, PJ?
59.
59, my God, that was unbelievable.
People didn't think there was any big fish there at that time.
Jeez, PJ.
They kept fishermen there, you see.
Oh, I get you.
Jimbo Myers was the gilly.
Right. You wouldn't hear that mentioned a lot now as a sort of a guest house or a hotel where anglers stayed.
Oh, it was. It was after the war, because during the war, H. O'Brien Moore and the state solicitor lived in it.
My God.
And he had 2 sons and 1 daughter.
Right.
And they lived there at that time. And then he sold it, and it was bought by several different people over a number of years. But at that stage, it was bought by these people that had it as a guest house, and it used to be let to anglers. And of course, it's ideal on the bank of the river.
Jesus, it was.
And beats and all,
By God.
Thing like,
That's that kind of a brochure as well, is it?
Yeah, it's the very same with the map and all. Oh no, not that. No.
Oh, is it?
Every halfpenny had cost from start to finish, and all the different contractors and all that were on it.
And that be of the Castleconnell, would it?
Well, it's called the Castleconnell around there.
Oh, right, the whole canal from Limerick.
The whole canal, because if you go to Nook, don't be called the Nook Canal.
I get you.
Called the Globe
Jesus called the North Munster Antiquarian Journal, by God.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's historic in its own right,
Yeah.
Peter.
And that gives the whole story. You see, I was involved in all this history.
That's brilliant.
Well, I can't tell you the year now, because you'd have to take it out and look at it yourself. But it's many years ago, well over 100 years ago. And there's a picture of a cutlet of a salmon that had the salmon disease.
Jesus, right.
So It wasn't just in the 50s and 60s the salmon disease came.
Right. And that's a very old...
Oh, it is out of an old book.
Yeah.
Now, you can read a bit of it.
Again, page of what you're
I was the founder member, really on my own, if you want to put it that way, of the Shannon Mulkear District Anglers.Also. In 1955, I'm nearly sure now, I'm just trying to think back. In 1955, there was a meeting called by all the crowd from up around the banks of the Mulkear for the schoolhouse in Castleconnell.
By God.
I don't know, I think it was a Wednesday night or something. But I wasn't invited, because I suppose I had a Limerick address, that's why I wasn't invited. But Eddie Mulroney was. And Eddie couldn't go because he wanted to Dublin to see Tomas McCormick, his cousin, who was in hospital sick. And Eddie rang me and asked me would I go. So I said I'll go just to listen to what's happening anyhow. There must have been about 60 over in Castleconnell school. Chris Humphreys and what you call him, Paddy, Joss Keys and Elsie Ryan, all those crowds, you know.
Yeah.
Maury Coffey from Newport and Cullen that owned their house there, that runs the bank run down to the river, the garden in Newport. And Black Harry and all those people. Jim Ryan Lafon, George Hayes. But anyhow, they asked everybody, asked all the different, will you take the chair and start the meeting, will you take the chair? Everybody refused. So the next thing is, before they had them all asked, they asked me would I do it. And I said no, I said, I wasn't even invited here. I said I only came just to hear what she had to say. I wasn't invited at all. Eddie Mulroney was, but he couldn't come. He asked me would I come. So it went on, anyhow, and I'd say we were there for nearly 2 hours, and no meeting started. So the next thing is, they asked me a second time, and I said, no, I'm not taking the chair. So it went on and on and on, and the next thing is they decided, well, we're getting nowhere, we might as well go home. So I said, I'll say something before you go, I said, it would be so stupid for about 60 grown men to come here to a meeting, spend 2 hours here, and not to be able to do something.
Exactly.
Surely to God, I said, we'll have to do something. And I said, I'll tell you what I'll do, because I said, I'd be ashamed to say I came and that nothing happened. I'll take the chair, but I'm only taking it for 2 weeks. And this night, fortnight, we'll have another meeting here. But now I want somebody to do it secondary now straight away, because I want it to be in writing what I'm saying. And nobody would find it. I said, George Hayes, will you do secretary? I will, George said. So George did the secretary that night, and that went on just for maybe what I had to say for maybe half an hour or so. So I said, okay, we'll meet here this night fortnight, and we're going to have a proper meeting. So we met many of fortnight after, and of course, PJ had to be chairman again, whether he liked it or not.
Well, that's how you became chairman
That's
of
how I
that.
became chairman. So next thing we formed Paddy, Christ, what's his name? He owns a big farm up there at Abington Bridge. And Chris Humphreys, and we had George Hayes was the secretary. We formed a committee anyhow, and it took off from there.
My God.
And that very first,
And that's how it started.
That's how it started. And that very first year, when after Christmas, to be the next year, but after Christmas, which was belonged to that year, I ran a dinner dance. The park was packed out.
My God.
Because I knew if I didn't keep going, it would fall through again.
Yes.
And every year we had a big dinner dance. And the last day of the season, every year, we'd meet in Powers in Abington, have a party, sing song and sandwiches. Or we'd meet in Match Craze in Newport, have a sing song and be to eat. Several times we met in Big Hickeys, it was ideal because they'd make the sandwiches and all. And one year we met in Betty Bonner's. I wanted to spread it around.
I
didn't want to have anybody saying, oh, they're having it in Newport every year, or they're having it in Abington every year.
Right.
So I kept spreading it about. But Neddy, I was 13 years chairman. I couldn't get out of it. Until in the end I said, you can do what you like, I'm not doing it anymore.
So what year did you finish in PJ?
I think it was 55 it started.
Yeah, in the 50s, yeah. That's grand.
55.
Oh, 65
65
PJ.
that it started.
That's grand.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about, you were, we say you could be described as a famous Castleconnell fisherman as well.
Well, I'd say I was indeed.
And you were very, very sort of much on the fishery.
Yeah.
What kind of fish did you get during those years, or what was the biggest fish, or what was the most fish? Or
Well, you see, it was late when we started fishing it, we take a day's fishing maybe
Yeah,
every now
yeah.
and again, get a pail or maybe get a few pail. But we really took the bait, George Hayes, Eddie Maloney, myself and Mick O'Shea. We used to come home from Canada and we used to take a bait every year. We took it 68, 69 and 70, 71, 72 and 73. We took it for 3 years. And then after that I took it for 2 years with your man O'Mahony. There was Mike Angela Collins in Landscape House.
Yes,
I shared it with him then after, for 2 years after that. But I never caught a very big fish. The biggest one that I caught was 22 pound 2 ounces.
Oh, there was nothing wrong with that,
No.
Peter.
But that was at the World's End on the Clare side. That's what I caught.
Oh my God.
Because he was there for a month, jumping continually, you know. And eventually I got him anyhow. But I just about in the old boat and I can troll around. But then I caught
And Eddie Maloney used to fish it with you.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I caught, the next biggest one I caught was 19 3/4 pounds.
Yes.
In front of Father Fogarty's house.
By God.
When you walked out there.
Blackaleen, they call it.
Blackaleen, yeah. So I used to know him all, but I forget him now. You know, Walla Hessa and
Right, right.
Blackweir and all, to come over and
Jesus.
Oak
And you've
Road.
good old memories, Peter.
Yeah. But there was good fish there then. But Mickey was always said to all the crowd, and he asked me, how many fish did you catch? I always said, about 39 or 40, you know. But I could catch 59 or 60.
Yes,
But I
yeah.
didn't bother because it was deadly. But anyhow, we were in Mickey's one night, last night this season. And he says, Jesus Christ, he said, will you shut up? You're all talking, somebody caught 70 and somebody caught 80. And J Galvin caught fish when none of you were catching fish. And he tells me he caught 39 or 40. I tell you, God, but one evening I went out with George Hayes and Eddie Maloney. I went out in the middle of the day. Of course, I was free. I was always in out whenever I liked.
Yeah.
I had no boss. I was my own boss. Go and come when I liked, you know. But I went out bush hole one evening and went to March. And the chest was full of fish. Full of fish. But it was a kind of a sunny March day. But it wouldn't take anything.
And the fish were in that early,
They were,
Peter.
and big fish, you know.
Right.
Now they weren't monsters, but they were good fish. And then you contacted, I came home and had my tea in the evening. And I rang George Hayes and Eddie Maloney. And I told George I'd collect him. And we told Eddie to come down to Landscape and we'd go across in the boat for him, you know. But I had caught about 4 or 5 nice spring fish, maybe 10, 12, 13, 14 pounds weight. But Eddie and George hadn't any caught. So I was really anxious now they did catch a spring fish. So we went out and any of the three of us, and I said, look, we'll go down to the bush hole. There's a good few fish in it, I said. Nice fish now in it. And I'll go up the streams because I have 4 or 5 spring fish caught. And I want you to catch one. I really did know, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went up and anyhow, fished the streams, not expecting to catch anything. But they went down to the bush hole and anyhow. Yes, I was fishing anyhow in the Camogue, isn't that the one? Isn't that the Camogue
Yes,
there,
yeah,
number
the
5
Camogue.
it is? Jeez, next thing I seen this big fish, you know. Jeez, and I was only fishing 1.5 minutes, and I caught more fish with them than any of the big baits.
There you
Because
are.
I always said, if the water wasn't dirty, that the minnows surely they'd see them better than they'd see a fly.
Right,
know?
that's
So, next thing I was in my fish, landed him. And him long landed, and I saw another one. I kind of saw him breaking coming in, no. I kept fishing, next thing I was in the second one, landed him. Yes, the next thing I was in a third one, landed him, you see. Fishing away, next thing I was in a fourth one. And he escaped, he got off. And played him well, like, he was leaping and jumping into the air and shaking himself. He got off and anyhow, he escaped. 2 17.5s and a 17.25.
Jesus, Peter. And was that all in the Camogue?
That was in the Camogue one evening in
My
the
God.
space of an hour, I'd say.
Jesus, that was
Now, I said, I'm in trouble now. I hope the Christ that they catch a fish, otherwise I'm in trouble. Because knowing George is, George is a notorious tomb, you know. He could call you anything. So I went back down to the car at dusk, in my car, like, you know. Back down at dusk, and we said we'd drive 80 across from the boat. No, he said he'd come to Castleconnell with us for a drink, and he'd go across the footbridge and walk up. That's what he said he'd do. So, well, how'd you get on? George, no, George is now. 5 o'clock in the early, they had me tea, and the next thing the phone rang. Vincent from Cutchin. Are you going fishing? I am. Hold on, I'll be in with you. I'm in Castleconnell. I'll be in as soon as I can. I'll go with you. You see? So the next thing was no sign of Vincent. I rang him. I'll be in. It was a full hour before he came. It was 7 o'clock before he came. You know, after I'd been, no, it was 6:30 before he came. And I ready since 5 o'clock and going out, you know. I'd be on the river at 5:30 because there was a flood coming down. And I know if we didn't get the start of it, we'd be too late.
Yeah.
Went out and looked in over on the Cotty Bridge. Water was up in there. Up the Bankton's Bridge, it was the same way. Went down to Boher. And I said, sure, remember, you go down here now and take it with throats, even though the water is too high. I said, look at all the crowd are coming back. I said, they're coming back up, it's gone too high and too dirty. But you know where they used to call Burks before you come to down the field? There was a hole there with an old tree going out.
That's
a
right.
big hoop, you know. Now, I got down as far as that myself and Vincent, and the water was so high that it was going up along that trench there beside it.
Yeah.
You know. And they were all fishing. Well, any good. No, nobody caught it. It wasn't a fish caught, not one. And I was thrown out down below that and bring it up along under. And the next thing is, the line came slack. You know, I said, Jesus, nothing. I threw it out again, bringing it up along again. Next thing, and there was a big pull on the bait because the flood was so high that there was pressure on the bait.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden they came slack. Jeez, I came to the conclusion there's a fucking fish there, and he's coming up and swiping at it. And that's what, you know, that's what taking the pressure off the bait for a minute. I kept throwing it in there maybe 3 or 4 more times. Next thing I was in him. And he did his best to get over under the bushes, you see. But I said I'll break him before he goes under the bushes, because if he goes under them, he's gone. So I will hold him. So I held him and I played him out. And I said to Vincent McCutcheon, Vincent, get ready now, I'm not going to gaff him, because bloody Ray Cusick deduct you £1 a pound for the gaff now, you know. But I said, I'll bring him up there. He's flattened now, I said, and I'll run him up along the trench, up along the water, and you go down and get your 2 hands under him and just throw him up another bit. So Vincent was out in and Vincent was a bit of a dandy. Vincent had a riding breeches on. He was only coming back from work. A riding breeches on, and a pair of Wellingtons and the polished,
Right.
and a pair of Bonnie socks turned down over them, you see, and his sports coat and his white cuffs and all, coming back from work. He was a traveller for Bulmer cider. He went down and to catch the fish, and didn't he slip? And didn't his 2 hands go down, sink down into the muck? And didn't the fish start licking under him? He was destroyed.
It's right.
He was, and he threw him up and he cursed me from behind. He was destroyed. 17.25 pounds.
My God.
The biggest fish I ever caught in the Mulkear.
And the
It was he
Mulkear,
caught.
yeah,
All right. We caught nothing. We came back up to the mill.